All right, Shalom Israel. First and foremost, Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Kakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, aka GMS. Shalom to the whole elect, beginning with the 144,000. Shalom. So this lesson will be titled, It is a Daily Battle Between the Flesh and the Spirit. Right? And not only that, right, we also dealing with these demons, right, and things of that such. And I'm gonna grab that real quick in Ephesians, the 6th chapter. And I'll start at verse 10, right? It say, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of the Heavenly Father, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Right? Verse 12, the point. He said, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against the spiritual wickedness in high places. Right? So we not only just, having that battle with the flesh, right? The temptation, the lust and things of that such. And we also have to battle against these demons, right? We have to stay strong, right, through all these things. And that's why the Lord says, Sirach 2:1, if you come to serve me, prepare thy soul for temptation, right? Just roughly paraphrasing. So you got to know that Satan is trying to attack you, at every which way, right? And he not going to take a break, right? The stronger you get in the spirit, the stronger demons he's going to send at you, right? And you got to be prepared. And that's why we abide in the works and continue to study, continue to, do what's lawful, right? Because we are preparing ourselves, right? We building ourselves up in the spirit, right? So when things try to attack us, right, we got on that whole armor of the Heavenly Father, right? And we prepared and we ready, right? So let's go to Ephesians. Galatians, Salaki, the 6th chapter or the 5th chapter. Oh, it was 6th chapter. Oh, wait, no, Salaki. Yeah, the 5th chapter, Salaki. In verse 16, right? And it reads, this I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Right? Verse 17, the point said, for the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to another, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. Right? And this going back to the title at hand, right? It is a daily battle between the flesh and the spirit, or the spirit and the flesh, right? And if you continue to let the flesh, right, win these battles, guess what's going to happen? You're going to go back into the world, right? Because while you giving over to the lust of the flesh, right? And ultimately, the Lord saying where your heart and mind is, guess what the Lord going to do? He going to give you over to those things, right? That's why you got to always stay strong in His truth. That's why you got to always abide in the Spirit, right? Because you doing the things of the Spirit, you gonna do the lawful things, you gonna do the right thing. That's why you gotta continue to, meditate day in and day out on the scriptures. That's why you gotta stay in the spirit, right? That's why you gotta continue to do the works and things of this sex. So you can't even think about, doing the wicked things that your flesh desire, right? And that's why you gotta ultimately, you want to continue, to stay in the spirit and things of that sex. So your spirit can continue to win the battles, right? So you can continue to stay in the spirit of things of that sex, right? Because, it's that sifting spirit. That sifting season. All right, and that's, let's go in. All right, this is a good precept. Luke 22 and verse 31, right? And it reads, and the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. Right, and that's going back to Ephesians 6 and 12, right? How we battle between those principalities, right? These strong demons, right? The powers of this world and things of this such, right? They say that he may sift you as wheat. So he trying to get you in every shape and form, right? Whether it's through your phone, social media, whether it's through down a woman, right? Money, whatever the case may be, right? Verse 32 said, but I have prayed for thee. But Yahushua is praying for us, man. That's one of the best blessings ever, man, that we have Yahushua praying for us for it, that thy faith fail not. So, man, Yahushua is praying that our faith fail not. Yahushua is praying that we don't get sifted out and things of that such. He's saying, when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. All right, but it's another one. Yeah, this is what I want. 1 Timothy 4 and 1. Right? Say, now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter time some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Come on, man. These are great precepts, right? Just showing you that in these latter time, I'm telling you, Satan is going to try to sift you out, right? And he's going to try to get you at your lowest moments. It don't matter, right? Because, the same way the Heavenly Father know what you like, the same way the same way the Heavenly Father knows your heart, same way Satan do as well, man. So Satan know what you like. Satan know the thing that you that the flesh desire, right? So it says, some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, right? So, but if you stay in the Spirit, Lord willing, you not go get fall into these things, right? But we know it's all through the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh, right? But if the Lord see you doing the works, hey, the Lord go work with you, right? Yes, Satan go test you and things of that sort, but you gotta stay strong, man. That's why you gotta put on that whole armor of the Heavenly Father, right? So let's go to Romans, the 8th chapter. We'll start at verse 5, right? And it said, for they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit, right? Because we know that the flesh is wicked, right? Jeremiah 17:9, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who shall know it? Roughly paraphrasing, right? These things are wicked, right? So if you in the flesh, you go do the things of the flesh. But what it say? But they that are the Spirit, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit, right? So if you in the Spirit, you don't do the things of the Spirit. What's that? Being lawful, right? Being righteous, right? The flesh is wicked, but the Spirit is righteous, right? So if you in the Spirit, you go do the righteous things, right? You go follow laws, commandments. You go abide in the works. You go study to show yourself approved, right? You go do lawful things, right? Verse 6, for to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace, because the carnal mind is enmity against the Heavenly Father, for it is not subject to the law, but the Heavenly Father neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please the Heavenly Father. And that's why 2/3 of our people have to be destroyed, right? Because they in the flesh, right? They love the flesh. They love the desires of the flesh. They love the lust of the flesh. They love all these wicked ass things, man. That's why the Lord got to come back and destroy them. Right, that's why they'd never be able to please the Heavenly Father. But the one that's in the Spirit, they're the one that's going to please the Heavenly Father. They're the one that's going to abide in His love. And we're going to grab that in John 15 and also Matthew 12, right? So verse 9 said, but ye are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit. If so, be that the Spirit of the Heavenly Father dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the Spirit of Hamashiach, he is none of his. And if Hamashiach be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the Spirit is life because of righteousness. So you see back in verse 9, how it says, now if any man have not the Spirit of Hamashiach, he is none of his. Right, so this is showing you, right, that the Lord don't deal with all of Israel. He only deals with his elect, right? If, the Spirit not on you to be in this, to continue to abide in the works and continue to be upon, the right doctrine and things of that such, the Lord ain't dealing with you, right? It's not in you. Verse 10 saying, if my shot be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the Spirit is life because of righteousness, right? That's how we'll get into the kingdom of heaven, man, by doing the things of the Spirit, right? So this John 15:10. It reads, if ye keep my commandments, ye shall abide in my love, even as I kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. Right? So we have to keep the commandments. We got to do what's lawful. We got to, do the things of the Spirit, right? We will continue to abide in Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh, shall love. Right? And this will be the last precept. Right? I don't want to make it too long. Just get the point across. Right? So it's Matthew 12 and verse 50. Right? And it reads, hold on. So I get straight to the point. Verse 50, he said, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same as my brother and sister and mother, right? So, and that's Yahweh speaking. So that's really the whole importance. One of the main important things of this truth, man, is doing the things of the Spirit, right? And being righteousness and things of that such, and Shalaki, and we go about in the Lord's love, and also we'll be as a brother or a sister as a mother, to Yahusha as well, All right, so Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. Once again, Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Kakadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops, great millstone. Once again, shalom to the whole elect. Beginning with 144,000. Shalom.